So another foundering car in the ABARTH 595C TURISMO, and today I'm going to answer the question because I also got that car, Suzuki Swissport ZC33S, and they are both 1.4 turbo engine cars. Which one I like the most? And I'm telling it now at the end of summer, and I like, for most rides, if I can just pick, and I'm not limited by practical implications, because otherwise it would be different, but I would like rather pick the ABARTH. And why is that? Because the ABARTH gives me a mini holiday. And if you would ask me the same question in the winter, I think it will be the other way around. The other thing is that the Suzuki Swissport is of course a manual, and a manual gives you more interaction. But because this is also has its flippers on the steering wheel, you get a lot of interaction out of that as well, as you can imagine. And you have interaction with the elements, because you also have the wind blowing through your hair. You feel everything a lot more lively, so to say. But also because this is a shorter wheelbase and makes a lot more noise, this gives you more experience feeling. I'm not saying that this car is more capable than Suzuki Swissport Hybrid, because if you would ask me that, which car would be able to do the largest amount of distance in the shortest time, I think the Swift takes it hands down. It's not that big of a difference, but the Swift is very capable at cruising, and also because it has less fuel consumption, you can also manage more distance between fill-ups, which is also a good thing, especially if you're driving longer distances, of course. But this is really for experience my pick, especially during this warmer period, that I can drive with the roof down. And of course, this should also be the case. You pay good money also for a second-hand ABARTH, and if you cannot enjoy it at where it's best, this being convertible, then I would rather trade it in again and get my money back, instead of keeping it and paying double for two cars, of course. So please take this into consideration, but I really like the ABARTH for these short trips. And why is that for short trips so nice? The seating arrangement is not as good as in the Suzuki Swissport, so for longer travel I like that a lot more. But it is very good for short trips, because it feels pleasant, nice. You don't get cramped at shorter trips with this type of car. So this is perfect in my opinion. And you get all those different impressions, which I really like. And I also love it that it still seats 4 people, so also my children can enjoy the magnificence that is ABARTH. Sounds nice, huh? Such a nice snurpy sound. There's something blocking this part, so I have to drive very carefully. Dank je. Not hit the worker. He was blowing leaves, so it's already blowing leaf time, a little bit towards autumn. Still September in Netherlands. It's quite nice in temperature, but yeah, really liking this car, really digging it. Also, those very meaty steering wheel gives you a very good impression. Everything is meaty. Also, for example, the handbrake, all those colors. You also see the red and the white. white details, red lettering. These bucket seats, nice chrome accents, this nice big fat steering wheel. Even as a back passenger, it's very simple type of chair, but still sitting in leather, which is nice. But let me know what you think. Perhaps you also drove both and you would say, no, I would rather pick one over the other. So this Turismo is now tuned. It's at standard like 230 Newton meters and 160 horsepower in the sport map, and now it has 173 horsepower and 310 Newton meters of torque in either the sport or the normal map. So especially the normal map has gained quite a lot of horsepower. The sport map in reality had like 155 horsepower, so that's almost 20 horsepower gain there. But especially the non-sport map, which would be about 130, 140 horsepower, has gained a lot. So that's a good thing. Of course also Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid can be tuned. The nice thing about the Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid is that it has 5 doors, it's lighter, and it has all those things for longer trips, also better shares. And it also has that lane hold assist, so you keep within the lanes, and also you have your cruise control, which this car does not have. All those things are nice to have, especially on longer rides. It is very nice to have, because if you go to trajectory measurements, it's very easy to keep the speeds at a certain distance, certain velocity, so to say. Whereas in all those short bursts, it's not that relevant. So it's not a big miss for short trips, but for longer trips it is. If you would ask me in the summer and you would let me drive 200 kilometers single trip, one way and the other way, I think I would opt for give the ambulance some room. I think I would opt for the Swift Sport, especially if I would take people with me, because they would have a lot more room. On the other hand, if that would be a trip one day in a week, then also the ABARTH would do very fine. Because if you have to do that 5 days in a week, then it will be different. And even in summer, I would opt for the Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid. So hope this helps to give you a little bit of insight. I like both cars very much. I think with the addition of the turbo, 1.4 liter 4-cylinder is a very nice type of engine. Perhaps I could even get used to 1.5 3-cylinder as BMW is now using, or the likes of Ford, and even Toyota uses for the Yaris GR. So that could be in the future, but I think I like a 4-cylinder more than I do 3-cylinders. 3-cylinder is a lot more raucous, but I like the top end of a 4-cylinder a lot more. So that's it. Why is that? I will also explain. So the less cylinders, the less revs you have to give to get to the maximum torque especially, but also often the maximum horsepower. That can be beneficial from day-to-day driving. Especially as an enthusiast, it's nice that also if you ring out your car, it still has a top end, so at the top still things are happening, which I really like about 4-cylinder layout. Well, some more sounds of the ABARTH. All this is still in the non-sport mode. The non-sport mode is a little bit more frugal, so to say, especially the shifts up from the automatic are a little bit earlier, so you keep the revs a little bit lower, and you also get some information, for example the fuel economy you can see. And from a day-to-day perspective, I think that's often nicer than the sport. The sport, however, gives you a little bit more of everything. Now I push the sport button, so it sounds a bit more aggressive, it will react a little bit more aggressive, and also tries to make you more mischievous. So this especially for shorter bursts, the sport exhaust combo, the sport mode exhaust combo might be the best bet, and especially because for shorter trips gas mileage is not that important and you like it to be mischievous, so to say. But there's also a thing that Swift Sport doesn't have. There's one mode, and that's always in sport, or compromise between sport and practicality. So that's also something that you have some more feeling of control there. Whereas the Swift, you have the feeling of control on the shifts, of course, and it feels even lighter and more planted, in my opinion. However, that being said, the tire width of the ABARTH is a lot wider than the Swift Sport, and that gives you the feeling of more grip. But once the grip is released, of course, this will also be quite quite direct. So once you lose grip, it will be losing grip directly. Whereas with the Swift, it feels a little bit more gradual. Hope this helps. Foundering car out. So another foundering car, and today we will talk about if I had two cars, like I'm having the ABARTH 595C TURISMO with the MTA gearboxes, pedal shift, and I also have the Suzuki Swift Sport hybrid. So due to the economic recession and all other stuff, of course you will also think, what if I have to let one of them go? Which one would it be? So first of all, a little bit of context. It needs to be a 4-seater because I'm a dad, I have 2 children, I also have a wife, so I at least need 4 seats. So for example, if it was a 2-seater and the Swift being a 5-seater, there will be an easy guess because you will get one car that can do it all, of course. However, this is not the case here. What is the case here is that both cars can manage to do that thing for the family. If you look at the simple perspective of the amount of seats, one has 5 seats, the Swift, and the ABARTH has 4 seats, and they both are able to seat 4 people. That being said, I will choose the most practical car. If I had to go back, that would be choosing the Suzuki Swift Sport hybrid over the ABARTH. And why is that? Because ABARTH is a very nice car, very pleasurable, and also very practical for being a convertible. You can even top load it, which implies that sometimes you can take stuff with you that is even bigger. But in day-to-day practice, and also we live in the Netherlands, so it will rain a lot, so not always is sunny weather. And then it's also quite a hassle to get children in the back if you need to pick them up or you have to travel somewhere, compared to the ABARTH. And why is that ABARTH? Of course, you have 2 doors here and one tiny hatch at the back, whereas Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid has 5 doors, a big hatch at the back and 2 side doors as well. Another thing to consider is that if things go south, economical ABARTH is without warranty or very limited warranty, perhaps a few months left, whereas Suzuki Swift Sport has about 5 or 6 years of warranty from new, so still 4 years to go. So it gives you a little bit more peace of mind, and it's more frugal and has lower costs in the department of fuel, because it is a little bit more frugal, but also the road tax is a little bit less. Insurance wise, I think the ABARTH might tip it, because the ABARTH is not insured, how you say it, all risk, where Suzuki Sport is. So that might be a little benefit towards ABARTH, but perhaps, if necessary, you could also limit insurance on a Suzuki Swift Sport. That's something that can be taken into consideration, of course. Another thing to take into consideration is that Japanese cars, on average, in general, or however you want to rephrase it, are more reliable than European cars, especially Italian cars. So I'm not dissing ABARTH, I bought one, so reliability, but it is not as reliable as a Suzuki Swift Sport hybrid is. Being a Japanese car, being also a lot newer. This is a 2016 ABARTH, and the Suzuki Swift Sport is 2021. But I will miss her, if that would be the case. The sound is gorgeous that you hear now from the exhaust. It's a very nice and playful little car, but also that you have this comfortable feeling without the drawbacks of being a convertible. So it was pretty close between the two. Because this car is also practical, also seats 4 people, and being convertible, you don't have to sacrifice that much. Also, it doesn't cost the world, so it's not that easy choice. Normally, perhaps you would say, okay, take the most practical car and you're done. But this was quite a struggle in my mind. What would I pick for? What would I pick to stay? I'm not saying that I'm going to do it, because I'm not at this moment. But things are going to get sour. So they are heading down, and not for the better, but for worse. And if so, it's always good to think in your mind things through. To have things ready to go if needed. If the need arises, you know that you can save some stuff by getting rid of things that you don't need. As much as the others. But I'm now really enjoying the weather, and I'm not thinking about selling the car yet. Really, I am not. But I just give you a little bit of the mind of an entrepreneur, and also I think the mind of a husband, father, a man, that you have to take sometimes decisions that you would not like to take, but you're obliged to take to fulfill your role as caretaker and father, a responsible person. So I hope this helps and gives you the perspective that you might need. There can also be the rare case that someone has similar amount of cars or similar choices to make, and then this could be giving you some of the better consideration that you could also take into consideration yourself, and perhaps this is something that really is going to help you to make a choice. I'll give you a little bit of a view that you can get with this car. This is the top view. If you look, and there you are, sitting in your convertible. Also nice back seat, as mentioned, 4-seater. And also the based on the Fiat 500, but very stiff improvements. For example, very good big sporting wheel with also flattened out. You have a lot of leather and chrome accents, which I really like. Also very nice leather seats that look great, but are not very nice on very long trips, but on short trips they are fantastic in my opinion. The seat sits quite upright, so for longer trips it could be a little bit less nice, but it gives you some some firm backup. Also in the corners you sit very nice, but it's not that restricting. Also nice badges everywhere of ABARTH, and nice music system as well. So that's what I really like about it. So nice. They have an overly thick approach everywhere. To give this in a small car gives you a little bit of a Maserati vibe. Hope this helps. Foundering car out.